Hello everyone and Shaka Zulu. My name is Mark Major. I am a real big toy collector and old school marketing guy hunkered down here in Southeast Portland. I am not the Action Figuratorium though. The Action Figuratorium is behind me there. You can see it in the distance. It's a wonderful and magical place. Maybe we'll get into it another time, but today I'm going to be talking about another toy Kickstarter. I know I'm becoming the Kickstarter guy on YouTube in terms of action figures and toys, and that's okay because I have a message, right? I, as someone who does not hide behind an alias or a mask, I'm not some sort of like doomcock guy or something like that, right? I have a message, right, that I come right out front and say, and my message is this: do not give your money anymore to the big dogs. Stop giving your money to the Funkos. Stop giving your money to the Super 7s. Stop giving your money to Hasbro. Ryan, don't get any of those Dragon Man guys. I'm telling you, don't do it. Instead, I would like it if you guys, you adult collectors, toy collectors, gave your money to the indie companies, to the startups, to the fresh faces, to the ma and pa's, to the little guys, the people who we could spread the money around to, and not some big giant corporation that loses over $1 billion a year and then proceeds to give out millions and millions of dollars in bonuses. Yes, that's right. Let's do a little bit of our own monetary justice within the toy collecting community and give some money somewhere else. So, today is going to be a lot of fun as I'm talking about Brandon Braswell's 9 to 5 Warriors. And if you don't know what these guys are, well, by the end of the video, you're going to know. And hopefully you'll plunk down a little bit of dough for them. So everybody, on this one, we're all going to come together, strap on the leather, and hold on tight. Let us cut over, shall we, to desktop cam. Very excited when this happens. Look at that. Hey, I'm in the corner now. Okay, so this cat here, this is the 9 to 5 Warriors creator, Brandon Braswell. And he looks quite excited about what he's showing us. This is his video. You guys can surf to this Kickstarter on your own and watch the vid. It's basically him talking about the toys, showing them off, that sort of thing. We'll get into the toys in a bit, but first what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of vetting of the company and the toy line, and then we're going to talk about what has inspired his toys, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the pricing and the marketing, the stuff that I'm kind of good at most of the time, not all the time, none of the time. Who am I kidding? All right. So this is not his first Kickstarter. His first Kickstarter was all the way back in December of 2021. It closed and was not successful. It was for these two figures here, I believe. And what's interesting is that there is a 9to5warriors.com website, and if you go there, let's check it out. Bling. You can see that he actually has managed to produce not only those two figures there, but two other figures, a total of 4 figures, and they're priced for $25. And it looks like you can, there's some other tchotchke stuff there. There's a thermos and lunch pail. I think stuff like that's great. And if you go to his shop, you can see that he still has a bunch of these that are available for sale. I think the only one that is sold out maybe is one of the couple of these are low stock. This guy, the Commodore Crisps, he is sold out, but he had the figures made despite the fact that the Kickstarter for them wasn't successful. So if you ask me, I feel very confident that this new Kickstarter, if it succeeds, it will definitely fulfill. That's been one of the things I've been talking about, is that a lot of cats out there will get funding for their campaign, and then what happens is 2 years go by and there's no toys. And then in some cases, 3 years go by and all they have are some napkin sketches. If you want to have a good guffaw, go to Kickstarter and look up Operation Recall and look at some of the comments. It is, in my opinion, some of the most sort of best comedy of Kickstarter that you can have out there, and it really deserves its own episode. So we'll talk about all that probably, at a later time. But for now, just know that this cat, despite not getting his crowdfunding underway, still managed to produce the toys, okay? Now, let's talk about the inspiration for the toys that he's making and kind of sort of sum up what they're all about. For those of you that don't know, there was this toy line a long time ago. We're going to go to the Fwoosh.com. I don't go to the Fwoosh enough, and I don't know. Maybe we'll have to start bringing more Fwoosh articles into my own programming. But there is this line called Food Fighters, not the Foo Fighters with Dave Grohl, okay? Dave Grohl and Arnold Schwarzenegger now are both in this club of celebrities who have banged their maid out of wedlock. No, this is something different, Food Fighters. So it's these figures here, and they're sort of food that look like, they could be kind of people. Here's the card that they came on, the back of the card, the cross-sell. Some more shots of them. All right, it's a hot dog man. Check out the tongue on the guy. Hot dog man with arms, legs, hat. This guy. Very damn pancakes, maybe, I think. This guy, maybe this is the inspiration for Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Don't know. Look at this. Taco Warrior. Anyways, you get the idea. So, the 9 to 5 Warriors is essentially something kind of like that, right? Let's sum it up sort of in another way. If you've ever seen the movie Better Off Dead with John Cusack, in one scene he is at his day job flipping burgers, and he starts to hallucinate that the hamburger comes to life, and then it cuts to this claymation of a hamburger playing guitar with some Van Halen music in the background. Very classic scene. This is kind of like that. Picture being at your desk and you hallucinate that the pencils come to life, that the eraser comes to life, that huge ball of rubber bands comes to life. Or maybe you're in the kitchen at work. You're in the break room, right? And then the food starts, you open the fridge and the food starts coming to life, right? The sandwich comes to life, the donut comes to life. Something you might see out of that BBC show from the 80s, The Young Ones. They would sometimes have little sort of small puppets pop up once in a while like that, as if you're hallucinating them. That kind of thing. Cool idea, actually, believe it or not. So, the first wave, first series 1, he had 4 figures. He's got more figures he's coming out with now, right? He's sort of completing the collection of figures. We've got a pencil guy, right? We've got the rubber band ball guy. We've got another pencil guy, because I'm sure if you've got a mold of a pencil, you can make a few of them. Here is a figure who's supposed to be kind of like a rotting sandwich, very, very food fightery. Here's the figure from the previous wave, but now you can get him in translucent green. Personally, I think in terms of your marketing and SKUs, I think that's a smart idea. You've already got the mold made. Here's a chance to reuse it again and to make something kind of rare that you didn't have the first time around. I think that's pretty good. Then there's some stretch goals, some other figures he's working on. Of course, you've got, she's sort of like Sandman but made of sugar. And then this is kind of cool. It's like going to be like a little can of peanuts with some peanut guys in it. I think that's neat. There's some possible accessories you could get. This kind of reminds me of another toy line out there called Junk Bots, which I did a review of. I'm actually kind of a fan of Junk Bots. I've ended up buying several big bags of the stuff. What it is they would send you, or you would buy essentially like a bag full of parts, junk. It looked like an old blender and a fridge and a TV and like, a bunch of old, some wrenches and some old antennas and stuff like that. And they all fit together and pegs and stuff like that, and you make little robots out of them, Junk Bots. Very cool. Actually, very cool idea. This is kind of like that, where you just give you a pile of trash and you have a lot of fun with it. Of course, there's some bigger items planned, these sort of like catapults, towers, helicopters, stuff like that. I think you guys get the idea. It's not really that difficult to conceive of at this point. I think you know where this is going. Okay, so let's look at the pricing structure and the rewards for what we got going on. Excuse me. So $5 you can get a digital comic. $10 you can get the analog version of the comic. I say, if you're gonna slap down $5 for the dig, why not spend an extra $5 and get the analog version? It's always gonna be worth more. It's something you can resell, you can physically resell, something that will go up in value. Or you can just hang out and read it, whatever you want. There's also for $7 a behind the scenes of how this is done, sort of but it's digital. It's kind of like a, you know, imagine it could eventually come out as like a cool YouTube video, that sort of thing. Let's see here. Then we also have for $20, there is the thermos and lunchbox, which I think I saw them on the website. I think maybe they're already available and could ship. So if this thing funds and you bought one of these, I see 3 backers already, you probably get it right away. Okay, our first figure comes in for one of these pencil guys or the exclusive translucent guy, $25. If you want a deluxe figure, $5 more, you can get one of these 2 guys. And then there's just some sort of repackaging, you know, if you want 2 or 3 guys, or all 4 guys, or if you want all 5 guys and the extra accessories, you know, lunch pail, things like that, or you know, 1 to show, 1 to go. You want some new in the pack, you want some to take out. There's an early bird, there's sort of buy a lot kind of things, that sort of thing, you know, just repackaging of stuff, right? So let's put it through our blender of best practices. And again, when I bring up this graphic, I don't want to hear anybody wincing, okay? I spent a lot of time coming up with it was actually 5 best practices of successful Kickstarters that I studied in depth. There was graph paper out. I didn't use the graph paper, but I took it out. There was a lot of in-depth studying that went on, and it brought me to this. So this is the main 3. The other 2 really inconsequential. But the main 3 is that you have to have 3-tier pricing, something standard, something deluxe, something luxury. Okay? If any of these are missing, that's okay. It could still fund, could still fulfill, but having all 3 makes it successful, and you get those big numbers where people are like, wow, that's a big number. It is a big number. Wider selection means higher sales, pretty obvious. The more things for sale, the more stuff you sell. However, those are plates. Those are plates that represent overhead, and the more plates you stack up, the more difficult it is to carry them from the client's table back to the customer's table, back to the kitchen. And you can sometimes drop it. We have seen this recently. One of my all-time favorite toy companies, new toy companies, not the old ones. I told you, stop giving them their money. New companies, Marauder Gun Runners, who, extremely cool company, extremely cool cats. They did a crowdfund that was very successful, right? However, they announced recently that they will not be fulfilling the crowdfund. And from what I can tell, it was because they bit off more than they could chew. They're still having the stuff made. They're still going to have it available and sell it when it gets here. But it doesn't look like that's going to be anytime soon because they have too many products and it's just taking more than a few years to get it out. So they decided to refund some people's money and hope that people will stay in, and that when they finally do get the product, people will come back and buy it, that kind of thing. Anyways, I think they knew what they were doing, but it's a simple case of too much selection. So when you do have a wide selection, you just got to be cool and know what you can handle. And then, of course, we always throw as much of our marketing things on the Kickstarter page that you can. If people have to go looking on the YouTubes, in Facebook groups, which I cannot stand, I will not go there, I refuse to go there, or anywhere else to try and find out like the scale or the accessories, or do you have any made, or where are they getting manufactured. So you put it on your Kickstarter page, right? Put it on the page, because if I send someone there and they're like, yeah, I didn't see the thing, I was like, oh, well, it's because it's on his website. Well, then the person's not going to buy it. All right. So do we have standard and deluxe things. Yes, we've got standard figures. It says standard figure and it says deluxe, using the right terminology even. There is also this stuff which I really, really recommend, the $10, $5 tchotchke for anyone out there who likes the company, who wants to see the company and the project succeed, even though they themselves may not have the money to put into it per se and buy a figure or figures. And even if it's something that they themselves are not particularly into, they're like, well, it's a cool concept, but it's not for me. Well, if you want to help support them, yes, there's always these Kickstarters that put up like a pledge. You can pledge some money. And I did pledge money to the Odious campaign. I gave them $10. I said, if it lands, that sort of thing. But if you have some sort of cheap thing that anyone can buy and they get something for their money, they get a comic book, they get a keychain, they get a coin, they get a cap, anything like that, do it. It's just a way to like harvest more cash and to get people involved in your story. Once you have them involved in your story, you've got their email, you've got their mailing address, right? You also have them on your sort of marketing blast. When you do updates, they can, they can, just by the fact that even if they don't read the emails, they can see that they're getting emails with updates and they know that you're sane, okay? These are big deals in today's crowdfunding scene to make sure that people are on track with delivering product, and you always have to verify and prove to people that you're going the right direction, and to just capture people and have them on board is worth it. It's totally worth it to get them as a customer, even if the price is a small amount. So everything looks great here. I do not see the specific luxury item on the list. However, when we scrolled down, we did see these unlocks and we did see this kind of stuff. And if he gets enough money, this definitely would qualify as the luxury item. So in my opinion, objectively speaking, this campaign has everything it needs right now pretty much to do well. And if there's some unlocks, it's going to be one of the bigger ones in terms of what his asking price is, which, by the way, only $45,000. Maybe the molds for these things don't cost as much as some of the other figures, right? Maybe his production isn't that as high as like a 6-inch 1/12 sort of Space Ranger or something like that, right? Or maybe he has a bunch of capital already to put into this and he only needs to raise a little bit more to get it going. Remember, I showed you the first campaign, unsuccessful, still made the toys. How? Don't know. I'll have to ask him. Who knows? But it looks to me objectively that this has all the legs it needs. Now, what do I as a toy collector think? Well, here's what I think. This to me really is the campaign for a kid's toy. And if you are a parent who sometime in May of 2025, which is when these things are supposed to fulfill, have a child who is of the age that would like to play with toys, and some people are like, well, kids don't play with toys anymore, they got their phone. No, I saw some kids the other day at the food cart here in Milwaukee, Oregon, at the food cart downtown. There were some kids there while they're with their parents waiting for food, and they were playing with action figures and the rocks, man. I saw it with my own eyes, and when I go into my Goodwill, on, what is it, like 7th and Grand or whatever, when I go in there and I go to the toy section right away because I don't want someone else getting the cool stuff before me, I think I know who you guys are. I see parents drop their kids off in the toy aisle as babysitting while they go and shop in the store. Kids play with toys. So everyone out there who's talking about the this and the that and the don't, you're wrong. The kids play with toys. When they get old enough, they stop playing with toys because they feel that they're too old and that they shouldn't be playing with toys. They do it to themselves. It's not because something better comes along. It's because they feel awkward playing with toys at age 14, right? In a few years, they'll be able to drive. Seems kind of weird that they would, right? But if you got younger kids, these are going to be great, cool, fun toys. Now, a Kickstarter I recently covered, Monstors from David Igo of Igo Stuff. He was really trying to push the idea that his toys were for kids because he wants everyone's money. He wants toy collectors' money and he wants kids' money. And he's not stupid for asking for that. Why shouldn't you? If you're going to make something and you need money, ask for it. But they weren't kids' toys based on the price. They were designer toys, very expensive, 55 bucks a pop. Very cool, very weird, very acid trip, almost kind of like these in a way. But these really, to me, are the toys for kids. In that aspect, I kind of wish that Brandon could take the price down even more to make it so that parents could buy more figures or make it the price more kid-friendly. You know what I'm talking about. Really, toys is about getting stuff in for cheap, not getting stuff in for really expensive, because they're going to destroy them, right? But I really think that this is a product for parents to come in and scoop up more so than the adult collector. I could see some adult collectors who wish they had bought food fighters based upon how much they go for on eBay. It's insane what they go for. It's ridiculous. I'm not even going to cut over to the tab. I just looked. I can't. I wish I had some just to sell if that's the case, right? Put down some, pay off some bills, that kind of thing. Down payments, you know. But this might be something that collectors, yeah, maybe you get it and you put it away and bring it back later. But I really think that this is like the kids' toy line, in my opinion. And also, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if in like a year we see an Amazon Prime, a Netflix, a Disney Plus steal this idea and come out with some type of an animated show of something like this. Of course, they're not going to do exactly this because they'll, you know, someone will come along, a lawyer will come along and agree to represent if they get a piece of the money and sue them, right? And they would probably just, Disney, if they did it, they would probably just settle all the court and throw some money at them and make it go away. But they're not going to do that. They don't want to have their lawyers involved. They don't want to have to give any money. So they'll copy just enough to get the essence of it. I'm going to predict that somebody rips off this idea. A big, huge company rips off this idea for a TV show because we haven't seen something like this in a while. This is like a harken back. This is a kind, and this is cool because this is like a nostalgia thing, but without having to actually bring in the thing. This isn't like hey, we're redoing Eagle Force, or hey, we're redoing, you know, a Robo Skull, or hey, we're redoing Street Sharks, or hey, we're redoing Battletoads, or hey, we're redoing Biker Mice, or hey, we're redoing, you know, Sectars, or hey, we're redoing, you know, Lone Star, or hey, we're redoing Sunman, or hey, we're redoing the real Ghostbusters, or hey, we're redoing like Saturday cartoon Pac-Man, or, you know, it's not that. It's a new thing, but yet it's more of kind of the same of that, you know, taps in that same sort of stuff. So I don't know if you guys can get the same vibe or not as I do from these cats, but yeah, check this out. Yeah, look at that. See? Yeah, I think you guys need this. That's kind of my that's my overriding opinion of the 9 to 5 Warriors Series 2. Yeah, slap down for some pencil men and the rubber band guy, you know, throw 50 bucks into the pot, give it a stir, see what comes about from it. Should deliver on time. Could be a fun time for you and the kids. Who knows? Who knows? I wish 9 to 5 Warriors the best, and I'm glad to see indie toy companies coming out with new ideas that still tickle the nostalgia bone, as it were. So, everybody who made it this far into the vid, 24 minutes in, thank you, I do appreciate it. If you like these types of videos, right, you don't have to watch every single one, but if you like these types of videos, think about subscribing to this channel. Why? It lets me know that I should keep making these videos. If you don't subscribe, well, then I'll go find something else to do until I do find people who want to subscribe to the channel. So that is a way of letting me know. Also, if you are one of those people who want to give a dislike to the video, of which you're perfectly, allowed to do. Everyone's allowed to give a dislike. But people give dislikes for different reasons. Like sometimes they don't like me. Sometimes they don't like my message. And I do have a message. Sometimes they don't like the product I'm covering. Sometimes they may not like the way I'm covering the product, that kind of thing. If that's the case, if you're one of these dislikers, let me know in the comments what it was that you didn't like. And I always like to discuss things with people, never in anger. I'm always curious about what other people are thinking. Remember, I'm a marketing guy. I need to listen. I need to listen to what people are saying. That's kind of the first rule. You sort of listen. In sales, you just ask questions. You ask a question. Oh, what kind of guitar? Well, what are you looking to spend? Well, what do you want to do with it? Well, keep asking questions until you get the right answer. And so I love to find what you guys are interested in talking about and have a discussion with you. And sometimes I change my mind. So with that, stay charged.